Good evening. Right, we're going to start this build series by actually putting together the frame. This is it as it's finished, and we'll take the standard kit and put it together. This is the LR7 long range quadcopter kit, and the kit consists of a front bottom plate, a rear bottom plate and a top plate, which we'll put to one side for the time being. We've also got two front arms. You can see the angle on them, probably see that better there, and the rear arms which are more straight, as well as the carbon fibre bits. We get, hope you can see this okay, the hardware. Everything's M3, so it's nice and easy. Spacers, various lengths, and screws, various lengths. They also give us some spare nutserts as well. All the screws are button head, and being as they're all M3, we only need one tool, which is a 2.0 hex. Right, let's make a start. I'm going to take the two bottom plates. I'm going to take one of the longer screws, the 12mm. The rear plate has got a nutsert fitted, and that's at the top. Hope you can see that. I'm going to put this screw in here and just put it loosely in place. That does serve a purpose other than just holding the things together while we go. I'm going to start with the front arms. They go in this way, and the purpose of this screw here is, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little notch there, and so we have to position that notch against the screw. Using 12mm again, we bring it through to where the nutset is. I'm not tightening up at the moment, I'm just getting them into place. It's nice these are quite a firm fit in the hole. We don't want any sloppiness because it just makes the frame less rigid. We take the other front one. I think I've probably got that a bit too tight. Actually, maybe it's this one. Yeah, I had that a little bit tight. So I'm positioning this. I don't know if you can see that again. It's the hole, holding it in place. The long 12mm, oops, not the hole, this hole. The rear ones, both the same. Okay, I think I've got it together now. Yes, there we go. This is the last of the 12mm, and I've got one spare remaining. Right, there we are. All the arms in place. I'm going to give those tighten up at this stage. Now you'll notice I'm assembling this without any thread locking compound. At the end of the build I'll go through it all, and I'll use, that's the RS version. But being as when you're building the quad, quite often you may want to take parts apart again. I always leave the thread locking till afterwards. Right, now notice here this particular frame, 7-inch props, but we want it to not have the props showing in a reasonably wide angle camera lens. So you'll see that instead of the ordinary X you get, these are bent back. This is what's commonly known as the dead cat frame, for obvious reasons I think. Okay, just the top plate now. There's different spaces here, and them spaces depending on what you want to do with them. And then from experience, i.e. I had a trial build before I recorded this, that I need the 28mm here, and I'm going to take the 8mm screws. I'm not sure how well all this black on black will come out on this camera, but I can honestly tell you it's the first time I've done this kind of thing. I'm not a YouTuber, so if it's not that brilliant, we'll just have to make some improvements for next time. So there's my 6 spaces for the top plate, which I'm going to drop on there, and I'm going to use the 8mm. Now I suspect that whoever put this, did develop this kit, probably intended the 5mm to be used here on the top, and these 8mm I think have been put in for the motor screws, but being as motors come with their own screws, and I prefer to have quite a bit of thread in these standoffs, then I'm choosing to use the 8mm. Now that leaves us 2 10mm and 2 30mm, which you can use here on the front depending on what camera arrangement it is that you're going to use. I'm going to put the 30mm ones on, and you'll see why in a future build video when I'm fitting my camera. God, this tape's strong. So I'll tighten them up, but I expect most of this to be decent. Okay, there's our frame. One finished. Oops, tell a lie. Tighten the middle one. Right, now briefly what we're going to do with this camera. I'm going to use this one cam 4K, and I haven't quite decided how yet. I think these are going to have to change. I want this up at an angle here of about 30 odd degrees. My flight controller is going to sit there. It's got the standard 1, 2, 3, 4 holes at 30.5mm distance. Then I'm back, I'm going to have most of the antennas or whatever, and I'm keeping the whole top clear for the battery pack. And this will be on the next video, fitting the motors. These are the motors I'm going to use. Hobby mount Avenger V2s, which will go on here along with the ESCs, but I'm going to save all that for another build. Hope that's been helpful.